Hey folks, thank you all so much for coming out today. This is Nora and her friend Simone, for those who don't know them. We're just so thrilled to be opening this office. I want to start by thanking all the volunteers who put in so much time to make this look so great. Can we have a hand for everybody? So really, what this is all about is getting our grassroots campaign moving to the next level by signing up to knock on doors in every neighborhood in the city. No other campaign has the grassroots support that we have, that you can see as Lou Gordon walks in, as I say grassroots. Lou is as grassroots as they come. And that's what's going to win the election for us. That's what wins elections in San Francisco, period. And so what we need is to get out on the streets. I've been walking all the precincts in Bernal where I live, and it is so fun to go out and meet my neighbors. I thought I knew every nook and cranny of Bernal, but when you look at those precinct walk lists and you go to every little house, there are just little hidden areas in Bernal that no one would have known existed. I now know them all like the back of my hand, and I'm meeting my neighbors in a way I thought I knew everyone, but there were a lot of people I didn't know yet, and getting people on board. People are so impressed when a neighbor knocks on their door about something, and it's not because I'm the candidate, it's because I'm a neighbor. So if each of you go to your own neighborhoods, knock on doors, and tell people about this campaign, we are going to be unstoppable in November, and that's really what we need you to do. So we have signs. Chelsea will close by telling you a little more about it, where you can sign up for each of your districts. You can see on the map exactly which district you're at. Sign in to organize your neighborhood, to knock on doors, to get your neighbors involved. That's what it's going to take to win. That is key. And without further ado, let me turn it over to Mike Dukakis, who is an absolute expert in just this type of political campaign.
David flatters me. If we had done a better job of grassroots campaigning in 1988, and I know some of you were involved in that campaign, I'm grateful for that, but if we had done a better job, and if I had spent less time in '88 listening to people who I thought knew more about running for the presidency than I did, and who said, oh, no, this precinct stuff, I mean, maybe if you're running for city council or something, but this is the presidency. And it took until 2008, folks, for us to have a presidential candidate and a presidential campaign that focused on precinct-based grassroots organizing, and that's why Barack Obama was elected. So I'm somewhat obsessive of the subject. As a matter of fact, as I say to my friends back in Massachusetts, if we had done a better job of grassroots organizing in 1988, I'd have beaten Bush 1. You'd have never heard of Bush 2, we wouldn't be in this mess. So. And I take personal responsibility for that. Now, I went out this morning, spent a couple of hours on 28th Street in Noe Valley. And let me give you my impressions. First, it was a gorgeous day in San Francisco. I mean, what a day to... I mean, David's right, it's just great fun. Secondly, you're going to find that a certain number of the folks that are on your voting list aren't there anymore. But there are other people who live there. And you want to have a conversation with them because they're probably registered to vote someplace else, but there they are. And thirdly, this thing is ripe for the taking because the mayoral race is so dominating things that nobody knows what the hell is going on with this DA thing. I'm serious. But that's a huge opportunity for David and all of us because a visit, a chat, handing people literature, coming back second time, some weeks later, when people by that time have kind of gotten to know you, is just absolutely the single most important thing you can do in any campaign, folks. And trust me, I wouldn't have been elected dog catcher, let alone governor 3 times in Massachusetts, without these kinds of campaigns. But I'm a huge believer in every precinct with a precinct captains who go out and then recruit block captains so that you've got an army moving across the city September and October and early November. And if you're able to do that, David's going to win and we're going to have a terrific DA. Furthermore, very grateful to you. Kitty and I just got back from a week in Korea, of all places. By the way,
North or south?
Former First Lady of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
All right!
Why were we in Korea? Well, it was an international student conference that invited us to speak, but I spent 16 months of my life between 1955 and 57 up close to the DMZ as a member of the United States Army, and I'd never been back, and Kitty certainly had never been there, so I thought this might be a good opportunity to go back and take a look at where I was. The military folks who were with us couldn't even find the location where my unit was. The place has been so transformed. I mean, it's remarkable what the Korean people have done there over the course of the past 50 years. And then we planned to stop here. We didn't plan at the time for a hurricane to hit Massachusetts, but we're grateful to all of you for giving us an excuse for stopping here for a few days. I think we'll be okay by Tuesday when we head for home. Anyway, just want to say what a pleasure it is to be here and to have a chance just this morning to do a little campaigning for David, but to simply reiterate what he has said and emphasize it. This thing is out there, folks. But it's going to take an army of people at the grassroots, and you're the folks who have to recruit that army. If you do that, we'll be back for the inauguration, whatever that is.
January.
And in the meantime, just go at it, because this is an eminently winnable race. There's just no question about it. And we've got a great candidate, needless to say. Thanks.
Thank you. Chelsea. For those of you who haven't met Chelsea Peterson, who's come on board as our campaign manager, we got an absolute all-star who's worked on Democratic campaigns all across the country, is an expert in field organizing, and I'm going to turn it over to her. You're going to be hearing and seeing a lot of her from here on out, and so I want everyone to meet her before they leave. And again, we really need everyone to get involved in whatever way you can in your own neighborhood. If everyone pitches in a little bit, we're going to have the army we need to win. So let me turn it over to Chelsea.
Well, first, I also want to echo what David and Mike said. Just thank you so much. I've seen so many familiar faces. I have met many of you at different events that you've had for David, and I've seen some new folks here, which is amazing to see, to come out on Sunday afternoon and help us kick off the new office. But what we're talking about now is really going out and connecting with your neighbors, connecting with them at the door. And David and Mike share their experience in San Francisco. This is not something that is done here very aggressively, and we're really, really trying to build an army and go out and connect with people face to face and have an effective conversation about David. So what I'm going to do with the help of some of our volunteers and some of our interns here is pass out volunteer pledge cards. And I want you to commit to helping us win in your neighborhood. Commit to knocking on doors. Commit to making phone calls. Commit to having a house party. If you've had a house party, get your neighbor to host a house party. Get your friend across the street to host a house party. But we really need to make this a grassroots organization. And we need to have a solid structure where we're reaching every single home in San Francisco. Whether it's a new resident who just got here and still has time to register to vote, whether it's somebody who has missed a previous election, whether it's somebody who's never been involved in politics before. We need to make sure that they feel connected to the campaign, that they see you as a piece of the campaign, and everyone takes ownership of what is on these maps here. So if you haven't signed up on the wall, I want to see your names on the wall. We're going to be hounding you to do so. If you haven't signed a volunteer pledge card, please do so. We really need your help if we're going to make David the next district attorney of San Francisco. And I think that's what everybody in this room wants, right?
We want David! We want David! We want David!
Well, thank you again. Thank you again. I want the energy in this room to go out into the streets. If you want to walk packet today, let me know. I will print it. I will get you lit. We will get you out knocking today. David's been out. Mike's been out. Volunteers have been out. We've got to do this at the door. So let me know if you have any questions, and thank you again so much for coming.
Thanks, everybody.